There's a mini excavator. I'll talk about some of the things that were wrong with it. So the first thing was the gas tank had particles in it, and the float bowl was filled with particles and bad looking gas, and then the carburetor clogged up. So I had to remove the carburetor and clean it up. And then it ran excellent again. It's funny, the first half hour it ran fine, and then it started to act up and it would only run with a choke pulled out. And I was like, oh boy. The good thing is this motor is so easy to work on. There's 2 screws on the end. Then you could disconnect the choke cable and mount. Then there's 2 lugs you take off, and then the air box comes off, and then the carburetor slides out, and you just take the cable out of the throttle and the spring from the governor off, which comes off easy, and it slides right off, and you could reuse the gaskets again. They're pretty heavy gaskets, so that was good. Then the next thing, this machine spent some part of its life out in the weather, and the seat, these metal seat backs, inside they were completely rusty, both the top and the bottom. So I took the seat all apart, sanded it and steel wooled it, then painted it with black spray paint, and put a light coating of fluid film on it, and then put it together. The next thing wrong with it was this zerk. It was broken off, and I had to use a easy out to pull it out. And then I went to Harbor Freight and got a box of zerks. But I ordered the low profile zerks like this from China. I kind of like these. You zoom in on it. I like them. Strangely, the ends over here, they had regular zerks on that end and on that end. Everything else has the flat ones, the low profile, so they don't get ripped off. The other thing, this particular model, you can't wash with a hose, which I did the first time I used it, because this square beam, water got inside here, like 1/4 of an inch of water, and there's no way for it to drain out. On the other side, it's the same thing too. So I ran a rag back and forth and got the water out and cleaned it. So it gets a little bit of dirt in it if you don't, as long as you don't wash it. See, it's nice and clean in there with a little bit of loose dirt. It comes from the wheel over here. This is a hydro cap, and it's pretty narrow, so it's hard to get a funnel in it unless you have a narrow funnel. However, if you take this part off, see, it's now sticking with my cap. Now it's a much larger opening, so a typical funnel can fit in there. So that's a tip. That opening there is what's normally you see here. It gets super hot. I run it without the grill to let the air escape, and I also took off this front plate to let the engine get better cooling. And the engine stayed a little bit cooler like that, but I was cooking because the heat and some exhaust was just coming out of here. I was like, holy hell, it's too hot. So I did order a fan that I'm going to mount on the inside on this grill, a 9-inch fan. I'll see if that helps. Anyway, That's it, the mini excavator.